Hey, thank you once again. Welcome to another video. Today we'll be looking at the predictions for the Spanish LIGA. Let's go ahead. And the first up, we'll start with Espanyol versus Rayo Vallecano. And here today I'm going to tell you my predicted score and also who I expect to win this match. Well, or sometimes I could tell you that's a draw, yeah? So that as well. So my predicted score here is that Espanyol should win this one 1-0. Espanyol should win. And they should win by a goal to nil. So both teams won't score. And the correct score for me is Espanyol winning 1-0. If you don't want to bet the correct score, you can always go in the handicap system, as I always say. You can go there and you can bet for Espanyol to win by a goal to nil. Alright, here, and this would mean that the match would have to end at least 2-0 in favor of Espanyol for them to win. Alright? Otherwise, you can select this one. Otherwise, if they win the game 1-0, then it would be a draw. Alright? Because based on how the handicap system works, Espanyol will start the game a goal down, and so therefore they'll have to come back and score 2, and at the end of the day that means that they would have won by a goal. Alright? On the handicap system, that is. So my predicted score is 1-0, so I'm going to have to select a draw here. Alright, so those are my predictions for the Espanyol versus Rayo Vallecano game. Espanyol to win, both teams not to score, and Espanyol to win by a goal to nil. And on the handicap system, that would be a draw. Alright, +1 draw for Espanyol. Our next game will be Sevilla versus Real Valladolid. Sorry, I'm awful with these pronunciations rather. Sorry. Alright then, and my predicted score for this game is that Sevilla should win this game by 2 goals. So Sevilla to win, both teams not to score. And if you want to do a combination here, you can have both teams to score no and under 2.5 goals. You could do that as well. As I said, my predicted score is 2-0, so Sevilla to win by 2 goals to nil. So that's what we do here. And if you don't want to bet the correct score, you can always go on the handicap system and select for Sevilla to win by 2 goals. Alright? Sevilla to win by 2 is I'm going to show you one more time how you do and apply the handicap system. So this here -2, Sevilla to win by 2 goals. Alright, so in this case they'd have to win the game by 2 clear goals. And in that case, they're going to win it by 2 clear goals. That means that they're going to have to score at least 4 goals. So we'd use this one here. I'd go for them to win by a goal. Alright, in that case they'd have to score 2. So this would be what we'd select. Alright, so recapping my selections for the Sevilla versus Real Valladolid game, I have Sevilla to win and both teams not to score. And this is a combination bet, both teams not to score and under 2.5 goals. Sevilla to win by 2 goals. And if you want to do it on the handicap system, you have to select Sevilla to win by a goal. Alright, so those are my predictions for the Sevilla versus Real Valladolid game. Sevilla playing at home, so I expect them to do well here and win. Moving on to our next game, which is Osasuna versus Cadiz. Cadiz lost their open game at home. I thought that since they came up to La Liga, they have been doing well at home for the most part. They're not easily broken down at home, and they usually win their games at home. Alright, but last week they were beaten 1-0 by Real Sociedad rather, and so therefore that was a little bit surprising. Them going to Osasuna, I'm expecting Osasuna to beat them here. Osasuna usually does well at home too. I'm expecting Osasuna to beat them. Worst case scenario, it might end in a draw, but I'm going to go for the win for Osasuna. Both teams to score no, and As I say, if you want to do the combination, you can have both teams not to score no and under 2.5 goals. If my predicted scoreline for this game, I think Osasuna. Well, I expect Osasuna to win this game by 2 goals. And the worst case scenario, as I say, it might end in a draw, and that would be a 1-all draw. But I'm going to go with Osasuna to win by 2 goals here. And just say, if you don't want to bet the correct score, you can always go and bet on the handicap system. On the handicap system here, you'd bet for Osasuna to win by a goal, alright? So that would be your best bet. So recapping my bets here for Osasuna versus Cadiz. I have Osasuna to win. And Osasuna to win by 2 goals, that is. And also, rather. And both teams not to score. And I say, you can also bet on the handicap system. I didn't put it on here, but if you want to bet on the handicap system, get bet for Osasuna to win by a goal, alright? And moving on from this game to our next game, which is Mallorca versus Real Betis. Here, I'm expecting Real Betis to handle themselves well. They usually do. Mallorca just came back up. I don't think that this is going to be a pushover for the most part. So therefore, I am going to have this game be end in a draw. I think this game is going to end in a draw. And both teams are going to score. I think this is going to end in a 1-all draw. This is going to end in a 1-all draw, I think. So draw and both teams to score. You can use a combination if you like. And also I say a 1-all scoreline. Alright, so these are my predictions for the Real Mallorca versus Real Betis game. Real Mallorca playing at home. As I say, Real should be a draw. Both teams to score. Yes, both teams to score and the draw. And my predicted scoreline is 1-1. Alright. Our next game would be Celta Vigo versus Real Madrid. Real Madrid got off to a good start last week. They were surprised when Almeria went in front, but they came back and that game 2-1. Scored both of the goals in the second half. Digging deep like our championship. Celta Vigo is I don't want to use the term unpredictable. They are predictable in somewhat. They are not consistent winners when it comes down to the bigger teams in La Liga. The leading teams, the Barcelona, the Real Madrid, the Atletico Madrid. Yes, they don't usually have great results against these teams. And so therefore, I'm going to have Real Madrid winning this game, and I have Real Madrid winning this game 3-1. The both teams to score. Real Madrid to win and both teams to score, yeah. And so you can use a combination. And see, also I have match winner and both teams to score, yes or no. Yes. And so that's what. Select that already. And you can also use this combination as well. Both teams to score and total goals over 2.5 or under 2.5 goals. So therefore, in this case, I'll have both teams to score and over 2.5. Yes. You can select that as well. If you're interested, and as I say, my correct score, I have Real Madrid winning by 3-1 here. You're getting some nice odds, so you can go through and you can take your pick. Real Madrid to win at $1.75, both teams to score at $1.65. Real Madrid to win and both teams to score at $3.25. Both teams to score, yes, and over 2.5 goals, that's $2. The correct score, 3-1 in favor of Real Madrid, that's $12. Alright, so those are my predictions for this particular game. Celta de Vigo versus Real Madrid. Celta de Vigo playing at home, and so that's how I expect it to end up there, yeah. And so moving on to my next game, which is Atletico Bilbao versus Valencia. Atletico Bilbao playing at home. Valencia will be visiting them. This one was another tricky one, in a sense, tricky in the sense that I'm not yet certain how Valencia is playing, but in the last 5 games, there have been 4 draws and 1 win for Valencia, and I think this might go the way of a draw this time around again. If Valencia This Valencia, the Valencia of yesteryear, they might be able to pull out a win here out of the hat, but Athletic Club usually does well at home, and so and this reason why I'm going for a draw in this one. I think this game is going to end in a draw. Both teams to score, yes. I have this ending in a 1-all draw. If it's not a 1-all draw, it's a 2-all draw, I believe. And so therefore, I would say that's a draw. Alright, it's a draw, so I'm going to go here, and my correct score, 1 goal apiece. 1 goal apiece. Yeah. Athletic Bilbao versus Valencia. Athletic Bilbao playing at home. I expect this to end in a draw. Both teams to score, yes, and 1-1. Alright. So our next game will be Atletico Madrid versus Villarreal. And we all know how Atletico Madrid is. They don't usually score much. Started the season well in terms of scoring, but I think hopefully they continue, because I have them here to win this match against Villarreal. I think this one is going to end 2-1 in favor of Atletico de Madrid, and so I have both teams to score, Atletico to win, yeah. And so my correct score is 2-1 in favor of Atletico Madrid. Let's see, if you don't want to bet on the hand, if you don't want to bet the correct score, you can always go on the handicap system. I'm going to show you once again. You'd have Atletico Madrid winning by a goal. So if it ends 2-1, that means it would be a draw, yeah? So these are my predictions for this particular game. Atletico Madrid playing at home, expect them to win. Both teams to score, yes. Both teams to score, Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid to win, sorry. And my predicted scoreline is 2-1. Alright. So those are my predictions for the Atletico Madrid versus Villarreal game. Our next game will be Real Sociedad versus Barcelona. Real Sociedad playing at home. Last year they did very well at home. That's how they ended up spending some amount of time in the top 3, top 4. Because at home they were very dominant. They won most of the games at home. They won the opening game here. They won the opening game in week 1, beating Cadiz 1-0. And so therefore Barcelona is a much stronger unit this year. They are not yet. They have not yet gelled 100%, but I still do expect them to do well. I expect them to do well and continue on, and hence the reason why I'm only going to have them winning here by 2 goals. And I have Barcelona to win here by 2 goals. Both teams to score, no. But I wouldn't be surprised if Real Sociedad is able to pull to get a goal, yeah. So Barcelona to win, both teams to score, no. And in terms of, you can also use this double chance. You have double chance here and both teams to score. So this double chance is basically either team to win and both to score. Alright, so you can select this. Alright, so this is saying Real Sociedad to win or Barcelona to win and both of them to score. So as I said, I have Barcelona to win this game 2-0. Alright, so these are my predictions for the Barcelona game. Barcelona playing away from home against Real Sociedad. I expect them to win. Both teams to score, no, I don't think so, but Real Sociedad have it in them, they can score because they're at home and they were dominant at home last year, so they might continue that trend. But I am seeing no goals here. No goals as in only one team will score, and that's Barcelona for me. And I have a double chance here. This is just outside the box a little bit. Barcelona or Real Sociedad to win and both teams to score, yes. And my predicted scoreline is Barcelona to win by 2 goals. And as I say, you can always go in the handicap system and stay on the safer side. You can select for Barcelona. You can bet for Barcelona to win by a goal. Alright, so those are my predictions for the Barcelona versus Real Sociedad game. Our next game will be Elche versus Almeria. Almeria got off to a nice start at home last week by taking lead against Real Madrid. but unfortunately they slip up and ended up losing the game. Alright, so this game, this is our penultimate game of game week 2 in La Liga. Elche versus Almeria, and I'm saying I'm going to go and say this game is going to end in a draw. I'm going to end with tempted to pick Elche to win, but based on how Almeria started last week, if they apply themselves and bottle along a little bit more, and the season is early, they are not yet tired, so they should be able to come away with a draw here from Elche, I believe. And this is going to be either 0-0 or 1-1, but I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Yeah, so both teams score. Yes, a draw on. So this is match winner, both teams to score, yes or no. So I'm saying this is going to be a draw, and both teams are going to score. Yeah, so my predicted score line is 1-1. Alright, so these are my predictions for the Elche versus Almeria game. I'm expecting a draw, 1-1 draw. This is my predicted score line. Both teams to score, yes. Also a combination here, draw and both teams to score, getting $4.30 free for that. Alright, so those are my predictions for that particular game. So therefore I'm going to move on to our next game now, which is Girona versus Getafe. And Girona playing at home versus Getafe. This game is another tricky one in a sense. Getafe is usually a good enough side over the years. You see the last 5 games we've had 3 draws and 1 win for each team. Girona playing at home. I am a little bit curious. I'm wondering here. You look at the farm chart here. It's awful for both teams. So in a case like this, with it being this awful, I'm going to go for a draw in this game. I think this game is going to end in a draw, and I tempted to say it's going to end in a 0-0 draw, but let's see. Both teams to score, no. Draw and no goal. Yeah, my predicted scoreline is 0-0. Otherwise it's going to be 1-0, but I think it's going to end in, I'm saying it's going to end in a draw. That's my prediction. It's going to end in a draw for this game. Yeah, this game is the final game of a game week 2 for La Liga Santander, and so therefore these are my predictions for the Girona versus Getafe game. Any surprise coming out of the hat, I think it would be Getafe pulling themselves together and getting the win away from home, because they are the more established team here in terms of being up in La Liga for some time now, so they would be a little bit more seasoned and have a little bit better composure. But I still do think that this game is going to end in a draw, and both teams are not going to score because I have a 0-0 score line here. So in terms of a combination bet, it would be a draw and no goals. Alright, so those are my predictions for that game, and those are all my predictions for La Liga this week, game week 2. So I wish you all happy betting and reaping them profits. And as I always say, whenever you're making your betting slips, try not to put no more than 5 or 6 games on a slip, and try and mix and match it as much. I mean, you pick out different games from different leagues, or you pick random things to bet on. Not necessarily random, but you can that only bet on results. You can bet on result for one game, you can bet on the score for another game, you can do a combination bet for another game. Yes, so just mix it up a little bit, so that way, I think when you do it that way, it's safer. That way it's better. The possibility of you winning is better. I've done a couple of betting slips like that, and I have gotten the desired results, and so hopefully we'll get the desired results this week and we'll end up winning, and we can go home with a proud smile on our face, and we can put some more money in our bank books. And thank you very much for watching my video, and have a great weekend. Thank you.